This is going to be a video on how to find the best categories and keywords. So what we're going to cover in this video is how to do organic research on Amazon.com for the best categories for your book. Next, how to find where your readers hang out. 3, how to use the description box to your advantage as a new author. And then I'm going to give you tips on using research to learn about book covers, reviews, and reader warnings, some other different things as well. And then lastly, we're going to learn how to use the Amazon search bar to find the best keywords. So let's begin. Okay, so here I am at Amazon.com. And the first thing I'm going to do is come over here where it says all. Click on this and then click on bestsellers. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here to books. And now I'm in, the book categories. So the first thing you want to do is find the top category. So in some genres, it could be harder than others. So the first one I'm going to go into is mystery, thriller, and suspense. Okay. Now, you want to also pay attention to the hierarchy, because this is going to come into play when you're listing a book on Amazon, which is what prompted this video to begin with. In order to launch a book, to upload a book to Kindle KDP, you're going to need 7 keywords and you're going to need 3 categories. And you want them to be the best keywords and the best categories. So that is our goal with all of this research. So in order to put your book in the proper genre, in the proper category, you're going to have to know how to find it. So that's where this hierarchy comes into play. So now that I am in the books category and then the subcategory of mystery, thriller, and suspense, here are 3 other subcategories, 2 mysteries and 1 thrillers and suspense. So I'm going to hold my control key and click on all 3 of these to open them up. And all 3 of them have opened into new tabs. So the first tab is in mysteries. Now this is still a pretty big category. As you can see, this category contains all of these subcategories. So the people that list in this category, just mysteries, these are the big guns. These are authors that they publish a book and 7 days later they have 2,000 reviews. Okay, so this would be a hard category to choose if you're a new author. So just know that. Now, before I click on any of these down here, I'm going to click to the second one. This was also a mystery choice, but as you can see, this one is a mystery writing reference. So if you're uploading a fiction book, you don't want to be in this category. So I'm going to click out of that one. And then this one is bestsellers in thrillers and suspense. This is also a big category. This is also the big guns in here. Now, underneath thrillers and suspense, you can see all of these subcategories. So that's what we're going to look into as we go forward. So as a new author, you want to find your readers. Okay, so in this big mystery pool, there are readers who are looking for amateur sleuths. They're looking for cozy mysteries. They're looking for hard-boiled. But you want to go all the way down to what you're writing. Now, I presently am writing a police procedural. So I'm going to click on that. Okay. So this is a final category. Okay. So this is a category that I would want to list my book in. And this would also be where my readers would be hanging out, because readers who like police procedurals, they will check this category to see what's new, what's just been released. They'll be looking for their next book. Okay. So it's a good idea to, when you find your category, let me come up here, you're going to want to record it so that you have it when it's time to launch your book. So we're in books, then we're in mystery, thriller, and suspense. And we're in mystery, and then police procedurals. Okay, so then this way you'll be able to find it later on in the process. So I'm just going to put this down here. Now, the next thing that you're going to learn from looking at your Amazon bestseller page is like the top 50 books. I think you can go even all the way until like 100. But anyway, what you want to do first on this page where they have all of the books together is look at the covers, because you want your cover to fit in the genre. And you want it to fit in the genre and then get a little bit of attention. The analogy I like to use is you only want as much wiggle room as teenagers allow themselves for individuality. In other words, they all wear the same thing because they wouldn't be caught dead in anything else. But they try to be a little bit different from each other. So that's what you want to think about when you're deciding what kind of a cover to use. Sometimes new people think, oh, I want my cover to be completely different because that's going to make me stand out. But that's not how it works when you're, selling books and trying to get the reader's attention. So just notice all the different covers, the colors they use, how they set them up, and things like that. So now that you've taken a good look at all of the covers, you're going to want to open these individually. So I'm going to hold my control key and click open, let's say maybe I'll open 6 of them. Okay, and then you're going to want to go into each one individually. And what you want to look for is, first of all, you're going to, click on the Kindle book, and you're going to click on Read More. Now, sometimes readers use bolded print and they use, regular print. Okay, you want to take a look at that. Then down here, when these books are published by the publishing houses, they get to put in a little bit more information. So right here is popular highlights in this book. And so they have, things that people highlight on their e-readers. Okay. Then underneath here from the publisher, they have some artwork that they use. Let me shrink this down a little bit here so we can see more of the page. So you might want to just take a look at what type of art they use, especially if it's coming from a publishing house, because they have art departments and you can learn a lot from them. Because once you publish your book, you are going to also have to do some marketing for it. Okay. So now the next thing you want to do is come down to where it says product details. And in the product details, you're going to see the categories that this author is listed in. And Amazon now allows us to put the book in 3 categories. They used to let us have 10 categories, but now it's only 3. So it becomes more important for you to get the 3 best categories. So you're going to open all of the books and you're going to see all the different categories that these books are listed in. And one by one, you're going to take a look into these categories to see, does my book fit better here, or does it fit better in the police procedurals, or is it better in mystery? Okay, so let's go to the next one. So again, we're going to open up the description here. And sometimes by reading through the description, if you're really new, you can see how they use keywords in their descriptions. Okay, and let's see. And here's some more artwork that'll give you ideas for posting later on to Instagram or Facebook, wherever you choose to post. And again, you're going to come down here, and here are some other categories. So let's see here. So this is very slow, somewhat meticulous, but this will all help you to best place your book, and that is critically important. Now, in this description here, this author is taking advantage of the description box. They have the description of the book. Okay, they have a little bit here about the author in bold. Okay, and then down here they have 2 reviews that they have isolated, and here are some other reviews. So all of this helps the book. Now, the other thing I would suggest that you take notice of is how they create their series book covers, because the book covers have to look like they're from a group, from a series. Okay, and then next, here's some more artwork. And again, down here, you're going to check out the different categories. And once you see a category that you think, oh, that's interesting, women's crime fiction, let's see. So you hold control and click, and that will open up a new category. Okay. And if you think, oh, this is even better for my book, you come over here and you write down the hierarchy and how you got here. Okay. And then you can open these books and take a look at what categories these authors are using as well. So let me see here. Okay. Okay, now I found a whole bunch of books earlier that I wanted to point out one or two things. This will just make it easier to go through all of this stuff. So this one here is showing you a series of books and how similar they are, and how they kind of make them look like a series. This is very important if you're going to start to write in series. Here's also another nice ad that you could recreate for social media. And again, you would come down and look at the categories. Here are some popular highlights. And these, I looked for these before I began to shoot this video, and I wasn't able to find how to access these. So I'm assuming that this is information that only the publisher can use. But in any event, if you have really great quotes, you can always use them, put them in bold, and find a way to put them in your description here. Okay, so here's another book. This is a different genre. This is from the vampire genre. And let's see, here's what I wanted to point out. Inside the genre, there's a little bit of information about the book, the content, the series. Okay, this is indicating this is a standalone, a mafia romance, full-length novel. It's also indicating that it's 18 plus, which means that it's highly sexualized, would be my guess, and it probably has some violence in it. And it also, this is a warning, this novel contains triggering content. Sometimes it's better to put a little bit of a warning in the description, because often if readers are offended, the way you find out about it is they leave you a bad review. So by putting this in the description, people who are easily triggered, they might look for these types of warnings. So as you're going through all of these books, look for ways that the authors put in these warnings. They all use a slightly different verbiage. Here's someone who is indicating that it would be best if you read the novella first. This is also in the description. Also, another thing that the readers sometimes go berserk about are cliffhangers. So this one is giving a heads up that this ends on a cliffhanger. So if yours ends on a cliffhanger, my advice to you is to make sure that you put that in the description. Okay, let's see. All right, here's some artwork that came from the art department. This is John Grisham. He's got the whole art department working for him. And so, you can get some ideas of verbiage to use and just how to present a concept by looking at the artwork for some of these books. Let's see what this one is here. Let's see, read more. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, so this one is using regular font and then the bolded font. Also, here's an example of how someone put the reviews using these yellow stars in their description. Now, I think this is a great way to show that, this book has been highly rated by many different people. It's at the end after the description of the book, and I think it's a great way for a beginner to get some good reviews in so that your readers, your potential readers, can see it. So I think that's what I wanted to point out here. And let's see. Okay, let's see this one here. We'll open this up here. Okay, now this one I found, and this is a bit of a disclaimer, and it's about this. This is has sex and violence in it, but this warning is a little snarky. And I think that if you're going to put a warning, you have to be careful how you put it, because you don't want to offend people who, they might not be interested in this book because there's too much violence and sex, but you might write a book next that doesn't have as much. So I think it's important to pick your verbiage when you're going to put these warnings for readers. Let's see here, what we have here. Okay, here's another warning about a cliffhanger. And they have some quotes here. Let's see. Okay, here's an example of authors who use these headlines, the bolded headlines. Um, these come into play, I think, if you have certain tropes, like if it's a friends to enemies or if it's a vampire romance, things like that. They use these headlines, which I think are very effective. Now, down here, they've also used the bold and sectioning to add like an author note. This is also a little bit of a heads up that it's a steamy romance. Okay. And then this is a collection of stories. So it's giving the readers a heads up that there's more than one author here. So that's a good idea as well. Now, the next one here, let's see. Okay, the description is pretty plain. Here, I just was pointing out some more artwork that you can get some ideas for posting to social media from. Okay, here, one of the authors lists, other books in the series, which is a good idea. And here's some artwork also. Okay, and here's an example of someone who leads with their reviews in the description box. And then they have the description. Here's a couple more reviews. And then they just sum up with two sort of headlines. So that's the last one that I have. Now let's go up and we're going to find out how to find the best keywords. So I'm up here in the search box. I have chosen you can choose books or you can choose Kindle Store. Most of my books are in Kindle Select. So I'm going to put police, and before I put procedural, I can see that police romance, police operations, police romance, suspense. So all of these would be keywords. Okay, so let's see procedural. Okay, so underneath here, Amazon is pulling all of these keywords from their search. This means that these are keywords that readers are actually typing into the box and looking for. So this is a great place to find the best keywords for you. So you might want to jot these down, and then you're going to pick 7 keywords. You need 7 keywords when you list a book up onto Amazon KDP. So this is a great way to find them. And then maybe you want to also look at, let's say, mystery, or maybe let's say crime thrillers. Okay, and here's some more. So you might want to break it up and use some police procedural, some crime thriller. Let's try vampire romance. Okay, so here's all of the search words that come up. So here's one for series, for books. So you can jot all of these down. And then what you're going to do is use these, pick 7 of the best ones, and then you're going to use those when you upload your book to Amazon. So that's it for doing organic research on Amazon. You don't need any expensive tools. You can do it all by hand. It does take time, but as you can see, there's a lot to learn from the process, so it's not a waste of time. You're going to learn a lot by going in and looking at each of these individual books, because all of these individual books in these genres, these are your competitors, your competitor authors, your competitor books, and also the publishing houses that are publishing in your genres. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. And if it was, if you learned something, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.